Right, this is a very interesting video, which I just picked it up from YouTube. This fellow here, he understands how to generate speed, but he sort of he knows how to do it, but he can't sort of explain, what he's doing. First of all, let's mark this. It's 8 minute 18 seconds and 7 minute 55 seconds. I want you to monitor his right hand. Let's see, 7:55, around there. Okay, let's play.
And then a lot of people are different. Some people are faster with their left. I'm faster with my right. So the key here.
You feel that he's faster with the right, and in fact, if for a right-hander golfer, he should be using the right hand, rather than the left hand. I mean, we won't use a pencil. We won't sort of do our writing with our left hand if we are right-hander do it.
Make sure we're still mimicking a golf.
Okay, have a look at now. Okay, look at the bit of the fingers there, right? Okay, see that. Look at his little fingers there. Is actually totally off the grip, and see the grip there. There is a gap there, as he is doing something very similar to my concept of allowing the club to overtake. Except the difference is this shaft is without the weight at the end, so therefore most of the force because as we all know that in order to generate the low, the transition is one major function in order to create the low. But say for a shaft without a club head, then most of the low is generated from a downswing.
Swing, and I'm going to try to swing this.
Right. Let's look at the palm again. From that 43. Okay.
And then a lot of people are different. Some people are faster with their left. I'm faster with my right. So the key here is to make sure we're still mimicking a golf.
Okay, first shot. Look at the little fingers there.
Off swing.
Look at his palm. See the palm there? The grip is totally off the palm, the lifeline. Okay, in fact, in order to create the overtaking process, he is actually making use of a coupling point here. That's the pulley. And that's the only way to make the club to go faster.
And I'm going to try to swing this as fast as I can and hit a nice balanced finish with one arm, okay? And you can even do this stuff to warm up too, but if I'm going to work on the right arm, I'll do 5 to 10 swings, and I'll go over to my left, and I'll do the same thing, okay? So we'll see which arm's faster, right?
Okay, now that we're at 18. If you look at it, look at the palm. It's widely open there. See that? I mean, the rest of the component, like the pivot, the lower body, and the bits, in fact, is not actually generate any speed at all. It's just that, that would assist by doing all that motion there at the lower body, the upper body, is to basically is to provide a function of weight shift, because of the weight shift, the club swings, and at the top, he's making use of coupling. But look at that. It's quite obvious there, isn't it?
Well, that was
if you look at what he said, that's 193.
My right arm. I can get this up to probably 220. Now, how accurate that is, I don't know. But like I said, it's all about using the same form of measurement. So I'm going to do another one.
Look at the bit there. It's very natural in opening the palm. Not there.
My right arm. I can get this up to probably 220.
Look at the palm. It's very obvious.
Now, how accurate that is, I don't know. But like I said, it's all about using the same form of measurement. So I'm going to do another one. That was 202. So then I would do anywhere from maybe 10 to 15 swings with my right, then I'll come back and do my left arm. Okay, so this one won't be as fast. I can get it up there, but I'll try.
You said using a left arm is won't be as fast. I mean, you can again is you can swing the you can sort of swing the club with the left arm as fast as the right arm. The only thing is, one is you got to make use of a coupling point. Two is it's harder because he's a right-hander, he's not a left-hander. So I mean, like even if you're using a pencil, we try to, no matter how good you are, if you're a right-hander, using a left hand to write to do your writing is always harder because it's not as efficient because the left side of the brain is you have more control of the actual writing motion, because if you're a right-hander, you use our right hand. As simple as that. Have a look at the following.
Up 186. Wasn't too bad. So now I do the same thing, and I would do. So you can see my right arm is much faster than my left, but there's a lot of people. I'll do it with regular amateurs, and their right arm is way slower than their left, and they're right-handed. So it just depends on the person in terms of which one can fire faster and which one can swing faster. Okay, so.
It's a matter of what he said is most amateurs can use the left arm faster than the right arm is because they are not making use of the smallest pulley effect, and that's the answer.
And then what I would normally do is I would I'll pick up my normal driver, and I'll do some dry swings. So.
Oh, I can't see his arm. I can't see his hand there.
So that was 140.
In fact, it's you do not have to sort of widely open your palm. It's just a matter of all you have to do is a little bit, easing off the pressure of the little fingers on the right. On the right hand, that will do the job. And do you know why we are wearing gloves on the left hand? Because the left hand doesn't play a function. It does play a function, except the left arm is just mounting to the club in order to forming a triangle assembly, where no matter where your right hand is going, the left hands follow, and the left hands follow, the shoulder follows. As mentioned in the golfing machine, the power package. So in order to summarize, this analysis is the most important part, of the swing is be able to generate speed. It's not a matter of how to use a pivot because the pivot doesn't give you any speed. The pivot will help you to obtain speed indirectly because you still need your weight shift, in order to trigger the kinematic sequence. Let's move back to the beginning of the video. So at the beginning of the video, he's using both hands and he's getting less speed because, again, it's by gripping the club so tight, in a sense of tightness. It's not sort of, you don't grip the club tight, but you got to be able to leave that little gap, as I mentioned, between the palm and the club at the top. Not at the top, at the beginning of the overtaking process. And people always having problem in obtaining speed by two hands because they are not sort of allowing the palm to open during the overtaking process. Therefore, when people are swinging with two hands, then they always get less speed. But again, we cannot swing the golf club with one hand because we need the structure in order to maintain to withstand with all them high speed. I mean, it's force. One hand is not adequate. So you need a structure to process that kind of speed. There is a bit he mentioned about pivot, you know.
Pick out my target.
Bit there. He sort of the reporter was asking him why does he pick up the left heel, and he got an answer to that.
Yeah, I also see you pick up your left heel, Jim. Would you suggest that if you're trying to hit as far as you can?
You know, there's a lot of guys who hit it really far. They don't pick up their heel. There's a lot of guys that pick up their heel. You know, there's a lot of guys that don't rotate as much. It's all what's comfortable. But for me to get more, you know, depth, bigger swing, more hip rotation, lifting up my left heel is work for me. You know, making sure I'm still rotating as it comes up. We're not just lifting it up like that. I'm still rotating off. I do kind of struggle with that. I tend to kind of just come up here instead of rotating in. But for me, it helps with my sequencing a little bit. When I just concentrate on getting that heel down on the ground, pushing off and rotating, that helps too. But for me, it works for me to gain some extra clubhead speed, but it might not work for everybody. But
this guy is smart, but except, you know, because of he was confined with the conventional golf teachings, and therefore a lot of people thought that, you know, rotating the hip will give them more speed. But in fact, the reason why he's lifting off the left heel is not because of what he said. You know, this is what he thought. In fact, to lifting up the left heel is more like giving him more power for weight shifting as startup, because, you know, the startup, you know, in order to generate a lot of speed, will be the first, I would say the first 10 inches of or might be 15 inches of a club traveling, the club head startup. So you need a lot. You have to generate a lot of power within that quadrant. Therefore, you know, like lifting the left heel is part of the way in encouraging more momentum transfer, weight shift, in order to provide some kind of kinematic sequence, you know, for the other components to overtake. So, you know, just like, you know, if someone's sitting at the top of the car, and all of a sudden when you hit the brakes, the guy, you know, sitting at the roof, it will fly off, you know. So the faster the car go before the press brake, you know, the guy will just fly off, you know, further. So that's the reason why some people lifting off the left heel, in fact, is actually controlled by the right side of the brain. That motion is to generate more weight shift in order to have a better kinematic sequence, you know, from the startup. And because if you got more power from a startup, you get a much better overtaking speed. That's about it. You know, this guy is smart, but it's just a matter of, you know, he doesn't have a good way in explaining his feel and the mechanics. Thank you very much.